Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, the Skybound bots are back as we review Transformers number 17. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2025, and this is episode 429 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that always tries to avoid friendly fire. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Sup? Let's talk Transformers. I'm trying that out. Does that make me sound youthful?
No. Try again.
I think my kid would describe it as skibbity. I don't know.
Skibbity toilet. That's right.
You don't know what it means either, Daryl.
I don't.
We're hip with the kids. Hello, Phil.
But I say it around my daughter when her friends are around her with her.
I'm sure she loves it.
That is so skibbity toilet. She's like, "Oh my god, shut up!"
You show off your Riz.
Yep. The Riz Master General.
All right, as we're old, clearly we're old. As always, we start off the show by thanking our donatrons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to support us and contribute to the show. We really appreciate it. And thank you to our newest donatron and Discord member, Robots with Coffee, also known as Paul. Great to see you join the Discord and hang out with us and also contribute to the show. So thank you, Paul, for doing that. Everyone go over to the Discord, see all the comics Paul's been posted from his Robots with Coffee series. Check that out at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. He's a great guy. We've seen him lots of times at lots of different conventions over the years. So really cool to have him hanging out with us. If you are not a donatron and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can sign up. As a donatron, you do get some perks. That includes bonus content, like our bonus show, We Like Big Bots. And that's Daryl and Dr. Pants going through all the biggest bots in their collection. We've got 14 episodes available. You can check them out all on our Patreon page. More coming soon-ish. We'll see.
The heart wants what the heart wants, Charles, but you never, sometimes the life just isn't fair.
Wow. Okay. Is that you telling me you're going to disappoint me and all our donatrons? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, keep up the hope but plan for the best, expect the worst, or plan for the worst, expect the best. Whatever.
Hope for hope for the best and plan for the worst. I think that's what it was.
Something like that. If you get one, you get one, and then I will be responsible. And if you don't get one, then Dr. Pants was responsible.
All right.
You talk to Dr. Pants about just doing some shorts and have his own series.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Well, speaking of additional content, we do have our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. It is unfortunately still on hiatus, so we are not getting new episodes in February, unfortunately. But Mike is putting out some bonus episodes just to tide you over. He's got 4 episodes that is going to show the new Transformers RPG system from Renegade Studios. He ran a campaign with that. And that features Dr. Pants, Scott, aka Dr. Pants, Matt, who Empire of Rust listeners will know as Magnum and Pythagoras, and then also Brandon, who is our Empire of Rust voice actor who does all the auxiliary voices on Empire of Rust. So those 3 guys ran through a campaign with Mike, and we're going to have some both video and audio versions of those episodes. So the first one is out this week, so it should be available right now for you. And then the next 3 will be coming after that. So Check them all out at transmissionspodcast.com/rust and on our YouTube channel. So very fun stuff. And we've also got our exclusive Skybound Transformers #1 comic still available at our website, transmissionspodcast.com/comic. The cover art is by E.J. Sue. So that's original cover art he produced and we commissioned for Transformers #1. This is the first printing, so that's available if you picked it up exclusively from us, the Transmissions version of that comic. And we have another promo code for February for toyhacks.com. So you can use this code to get 15% off all your purchases at toyhacks.com. And use that code LOVEMISSIONS. Yep, just how it sounds, spelled just how it sounds. Love Missions. Use that code for 15% off everything at toyhacks.com throughout the month of February. Cannot be combined with any other promo codes, but you can use it with your RoboPoints. So check that out. Okay, now let's get into what we've got for this episode of Alt Mode. We've got a comic review. We're going to review Transformers #17. So let's get into it. All right, we're doing a spoiler-filled review of Transformers #17, the latest issue from Skybound in their Transformers series in the Energon universe. We're coming up on the end of another story arc for Transformers. So next month will be issue 18. That'll be the end of the third Transformers story arc. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. But yeah, we're going to talk about issue 17 this week. We are going to spoil the whole issue. So if you haven't read it yet, stop the podcast and go read it first. Or if you don't care, you want to be spoiled, we're going to do that right now. So let's talk about it. Transformers #17 is written by Daniel Warren Johnson, artist Jorge Corona, colorist Mike Spicer, letterer Russ Wooten, editor Ben Abernathy, publication design Andres Suarez, and production Ashby Florence. So let's start off. A distraught and disillusioned Thundercracker abandons the Decepticons who betrayed him and flies to the Ark to save his seeker brother Skywarp. Since all the Autobots are gone, the Ark is empty. He finds what's left of Skywarp integrated into the Ark's Teletran 1 computer system. Thundercracker starts pulling on wires to free him, but Skywarp tells him to stop. Skywarp can barely communicate, but manages to tell Thundercracker that he cannot be removed without being killed. Thundercracker vows that he will figure out a way to free him somehow. Far away on the beach of the San Juan Islands, off the coast of Seattle, RC, Beachcomber, Spike, and Carly are on the trail of Ultra Magnus, following his Energon signature. RC thanks Beachcomber for helping them find her mentor and asks why he decided to put down his weapon and refuse to fight. Beachcomber tells her that he realized how insignificant their conflict was when they were on the Ark fighting the Decepticons, and he saw the expanse of stars and galaxies in space teeming with life. He realized he just couldn't do it anymore. He says fighting only happens when we choose to. But RC asks him what they can do when there's no choice, when it's either fight or die. Beachcomber doesn't get the chance to answer because suddenly they are under attack. Missiles blast in the water right next to them, knocking them all off their feet. RC realizes it's Ultra Magnus and she begs him to stop. Ultra Magnus recognizes his friend and immediately stops his assault. Luckily, the humans and bots are unharmed. Magnus apologizes and tells them he couldn't see them since he's building a fortress on the island to keep himself safe. As RC and her friends approach, they see that Magnus has built a makeshift structure surrounded by wooden spikes in the ground. Clearly, Magnus is still dealing with the trauma from centuries of torture. Meanwhile, on Cybertron, Cliffjumper is preparing to give the spark remnants he collected from his fallen clan a new lease on life. He asks Blades to be ready to carry some heavy cargo for their plan, while Elita 1 prepares for another fight. Elita 1 envies the hope she sees in Cliffjumper's eyes since she lost it so long ago. Cliffjumper tries to stay positive and tells her that's why Optimus left Cybertron in the first place, to find hope for everyone. But Elita 1 bitterly reminds him that Optimus had a chance to save Cybertron and he abandoned them again. But Bluestreak tells Elita 1 to pull it together. They've all lost someone, and Optimus did give them a fighting chance by killing Shockwave and removing the head of the Decepticon leadership. Now they can bring a new warrior to life with the sparks Cliffjumper found, and they need to take that chance. The other Autobots, Warpath, Blur, and Blades, agree, and they're ready to go. Elita 1 strengthens her resolve and is ready to lead their team back into the fight. Back on Earth, the Autobots survey the wreckage of the destroyed dam. Wheeljack tells Optimus the Decepticons are continuing their rampage towards another human city, Seattle. So Optimus prepares to lead the Autobots back into battle to try and save the humans from the Decepticon threat. But Wheeljack asks what happened to Optimus at the dam when he destroyed it. Optimus can't answer. Something came over him that he couldn't control. Wheeljack believes him, but if something is wrong with him, they need to take him back to the Ark and figure out what's wrong so that he doesn't lose control again. But Optimus refuses. They're the only ones who can stop the Decepticons, and they have to do everything they can to save human lives. Optimus transforms and orders the Autobots, Wheeljack, Jazz, and Trailbreaker to roll out. On Cybertron, Thrust and Ratbat are stationed guarding the Hall of Sparks. Thrust complains that there's no action here since they are far from Autobot territory, but Ratbat tells him to stop complaining. However, Thrust gets his wish for combat since the Autobots mount a surprise attack. Bluestreak, Blur, and Warpath lay down suppressing fire, while Cliffjumper and Elita 1 drive through to reach the Hall of Sparks. Thrust and Ratbat fly in the air and follow the two Autobots, and Elita 1 hangs back to cover Cliffjumper as he drives on. The Decepticons transform and close in on the Autobots through the fire and smoke, and are surprised as Elita 1 clotheslines them both and knocks them off their feet. With the Decepticons dealt with, Elita 1 rejoins Cliffjumper at the Hall of Sparks computer interface. Elita 1 asks if Cliffjumper knows how it works, and Cliffjumper is also clueless. But the machine seems to recognize them and comes to life on its own. A display asks for sparks to initiate a creation event. Cliffjumper loads a spark remnant container into the machine's input port, and Cliffjumper presses a button to start the creation of a new Cybertronian. On Earth, the city of Seattle is under attack. Bruticus, Astrotrain, and Starscream arrive to try and catch up to Soundwave and Devastator. As they approach, Devastator rips off the top of the Space Needle and throws it at Bruticus, knocking him down. Starscream calls out Soundwave, and Soundwave is ready to fight back. Devastator and Bruticus start trading blows, while the city is destroyed in the process. In the midst of his carnage, the Autobots arrive, and Optimus is horrified by the destruction he sees. He orders the Autobots to do everything they can to rescue human lives. Each Autobot grabs any human they can to get them out of the path of the two combiners' destruction. As they carry dozens of humans out of harm's way, one kid asks who they are. Optimus tells him his name and that they're here to rescue them as they drive away. On Cybertron, the creation computer asks for a template for a secondary form for the new Autobot. Cliffjumper signals to Blades to drop his cargo. Blades drops the wreckage of Carly's van into the machine, and it scans the vehicle. The machine does its work, lights flash, and energy crackles. A new Autobot steps forward. They say they recognize Cliffjumper from their previous lives, but now they are a new being born from those combined sparks. Cliffjumper asks the new bot's name, and the bot answers, "My name is Shreadhead." To be continued. So this was a good issue. I mean, I think we got a little bit of movement in the storyline for all the little plot threads here. It was cool seeing that Daniel Warren Johnson got to design a new Transformer, and really cool that I'm clear this was probably the plan from the beginning, that he designed that van, Carly's van, from the beginning of the storyline, and knowing that it would become Shreadhead eventually, and finally got here. So I hope Hasbro is working with him, that they're already in the process of making a toy for this. Maybe this will be another comic edition figure in the future. But it's a cool looking design, and I hope they keep the artwork that Carly was doing on the side of the van, and that's still integrated into this robot here. So it was a cool, that I like that aspect of the story. I also liked the kind of the desperate desperation of the Autobots on Cybertron and Elita 1 having to deal with their situation, and then the other Autobots basically telling her that she's not the only one who's lost people, so she has to come back to working with the team. I like that we're continuing to see Bruticus and Devastator fight. A lot of humans dying here. I mean, I don't think we're getting it. This it seems like Seattle has been pretty wrecked here. I mean, I know the Autobots saved a few dozen humans there, but
Space
you ripped
Needle's gone.
Yeah, you ripped the Space Needle in half. I'm sure there were people there, like having lunch or dinner or whatever. And yeah, I'm wondering where the military is. I mean, where's GI Joe? All this carnage and destruction reeking through the Pacific Northwest, and there hasn't been a military response yet. I hope something's going to happen there, but things are looking bad for the humans. The Decepticons and also the Autobots are really in bad shape. 4 Autobots against 2 Decepticon combiners. That seems like not a fair fight. So I don't know how the Autobots are supposed to fight back here with so little of their team on Earth, especially, and the Decepticons. I mean, the Decepticons are fighting each other, so I guess that they have that going for them. But if they turn their attentions to the Autobots, I think that'll be it for them. So I guess we'll see. But and also Ultra Magnus still dealing with his PTSD. That was that was clear that he's not in his right mind yet. Hopefully he can get some therapy and get some healing there, but I hope we can actually get him into the fight. I mean, and that he can overcome that. But yeah, I mean, I think we got a lot of different storylines coming into this book. Hopefully they start converging as in the next few issues. But overall, I thought it was good. I thought the artwork was great. Jorge Corona continues to do a great job. The coloring from Mike Spicer was great as well. I really like the Skywarp design integrated into Teletran 1, and you can see the anguish on Thundercracker's face when he sees the way his brother has been, what his brother has been reduced to. So I thought that was cool. So Daryl, what did you think of this issue?
I liked it. It was very good. The battling is just fantastic. I like it how the combiner battle is not just over after or self-contained within one issue. It's continuing. Like, these 2 enormous robots are just wailing on each other, leaving an incredible path of destruction behind them. And that's awesome. The fact that it's taking multiple issues to resolve this fight, and it's not the A story, is very cool as well. It's just something in the background that, oh yeah, those guys are destroying part of a city, and we kind of got to deal with that. But first, what's up with your head, Prime? So yeah, I really like how that's kind of going on in the background. The art's phenomenal. So I'm really kind of in on this art. So yeah, really happy with how everything looks. The stuff with Ultra Magnus, I'm glad they kind of got back to him, because I know that there was an issue or two where we kind of took a step back. We didn't really deal with him. So they kind of found him, and they're going to kind of help him, I think. So they'll get him back. They'll get him back in the fight, and then he'll help turn the tide a bit. I have a feeling that one of the 2 combiners will take the other one out, and then the Autobots will kind of clean up the rest, the pieces after that. But as far as the other side, the Cybertronian side of the story, I was a little confused. So they found this magic machine that makes characters, right? Build Cybertronians. Cliffjumper fed it a bunch of sparks.
Pieces of a bunch of sparks.
Pieces of a bunch of sparks. So in my head, a spark was dead unless it was whole. But so he fed it a bunch of sparks or a bunch of pieces of sparks, and it created one character that seemingly has multiple personality disorder or something like that. It knows that it's multiple sparks, right? It's one of the first things it says. It's like, we remember you or something like that. It understands that it's multiple sparks.
Well, then at the end it was like my name,
right?
So this is something new that Daniel Warren Johnson has introduced into the Skybound Transformers. Like, we haven't seen this before in previous continuities, where apparently when you kill a Transformer, maybe its spark degrades, but it's not completely gone. So I guess if a Transformer spark is degraded, you can combine it with other pieces of other sparks and then get basically smush it together to get a whole spark. And potentially recycle it to create a new Transformer. I mean, we did see this with Jetfire, where we thought Jetfire was dead, but he apparently was not completely dead. His spark was degraded, but not completely gone. And it was enough to have him stay in jet mode, but he wasn't able to transform, but he was still somehow alive. So I guess here, like, Cliffjumper's entire clan was murdered, but he could still harvest pieces of sparks from all the dead bodies and smush it up to get one whole spark, I guess.
So I was thinking I was reading it that, oh shit, they're going to build a combiner because he's got a bunch of different sparks, or at least he's going to build a team of somebody, right? But no, it all came out as one character. And then it was a new character, right, that nobody's ever seen before, this Shreadatron or whatever the hell it's called.
Shreadhead.
Shreadhead, right. Sounds like a Ninja Turtle character.
That was my first thought too.
Yeah. So I thought, well, why didn't he pick that Spike, the body that Spike had from the G1, where he was Frankenstein's monster, basically. Right? I'm like, you could, that was sitting right there. Anyway, I get what he did. Every creator wants to leave their mark on the franchise. So yeah, I see it. I didn't recognize it as being Carly's van.
I didn't either.
So I could tell that it was a van and that it was trashed, but I couldn't tell that it was Carly's van.
I think you can see like the remnants of the artwork on the side of the van when it lands in the spark thingy, the machine.
Gotcha.
So that's
I see a little bit of pink on the side of it there. Yeah. But yeah, it's mangled, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
the machine requests an image or something to get the something for the secondary mode, and you give it a big pile of garbage, right? It's like, oh, I get what you want me to do. Like, I mean, this is a fairly powerful computer you're using, so
yeah, you can see the wizard on the side of the van in that scene. So that's supposed to be the indication that it's Carly's van.
Okay.
It's magic. It's space magic. What are you gonna do?
Space magic. Yeah. So I liked it. I liked the way that the story went. There's no explanation why the Shreadhead comes out with a sword that's lightning. But whatever. So maybe this will be the character.
Space magic.
Okay. Yep. So it's already got the Autobot insignia on it as well. So it's just born that way. Yeah.
Well, he has the memories of the other sparks that were killed, so I imagine they remember.
Not a tattoo.
I imagine they remember being murdered by Starscreams. They're like, probably want to be an Autobot.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I liked the story. The ending was a little questionable for me, but we'll see where it goes. I have a lot of faith in the Transformers series. As far as the Energon universe goes, it goes like Transformers #1, like Void Rivals is like #2, which was down here. And I don't think I could put a G.I. Joe on there, but it technically qualifies, but it's not really.
All right. It's not. You can trash G.I. Joe on your own time, Daryl.
I just did.
All right, Jeremy, what were your thoughts on this book?
I really enjoyed it. Since we were talking about Shreadhead, I'll go ahead and just kind of comment on that. I like I said, I didn't also realize that was Carly's van, but now going back and looking at it and kind of see. Still, I think it's really cool. Interested to see what Shreadhead does, like personality wise and stuff. The rest of the book, I thought, I liked the beginning with the Thundercracker Skywarp stuff, and thought the art throughout the whole issue was really good. But the background we got for Beachcomber, I really liked that, and I'm under the impression that he basically just jumped out of that hole in the side of the arc, and that's why he was not with the other bots.
Well, we saw that when we first introduced Beachcomber, he got thrown out by Skywarp, and he crashed on the moon, and he was stuck on the moon for
that behind Skywarp there.
Yeah,
it was nice.
He was stuck on the moon for like 1 million years, and then he hitched a ride on the moon lander,
right? Okay,
back to Earth.
It was nice seeing Bumblebee and Ratchet in a panel. Remind us that they're dead. I was surprised with, I don't know. You said that the humans survived Carly and Spike. You don't actually see them. Like, you see RC get them out of the water, but you don't actually see them, other than her holding them. We don't know if they're alive or awake or anything. I mean, they flew pretty high up from that explosion. That,
I mean,
I'm sure they're fine, but I think a normal person would be seriously injured.
Yeah, I mean, I think the humans are like they experience a bit of cartoon physics here. At least Carly and Spike do.
Yeah.
All the other humans in this book seem to get murdered, but Carly and Spike have a good bit of plot armor.
Yeah. The Autobot stuff on Earth, I thought was really cool. The way that they were talking about Optimus needs to get his head straight. But then when he sees what's happening in Seattle, he actually puts his gun back and he's like, "We gotta save people." And I thought that was really cool. That going along with the Beachcomber stuff, he's making the choice not to fight and going to save as many people as they can. And you see, he's got however many people can fit in his cab, but Jazz and Wheeljack just are holding tons and tons of people. I'm like, yeah, Optimus, you could be in robot mode and carry a lot more. But anyway, I thought that was good. Showing, anyone that kind of witnesses that can see that there are two distinct factions of these robots, and one side is not trying to kill everybody.
Yeah.
And then
hopefully that counts for something.
I'm sure it won't, but hopefully. And then I guess we talked about the Cybertron stuff. I really like how Cliffjumper's bringing hope back, to the Autobots there. I think that's really enjoying the book. I did notice in the letter section at the end, one of the people asked about headmasters and where was that? Yeah, asked about headmasters, target masters, things like that, if that's going to happen. And Daniel Warren Johnson said that it will, it's one of his favorite parts too, but he's not going to be highlighting that with his time on the series. So gives me an idea that there are already plans in the works for the series past his time on the book. So that gives me some hope. So anyway, I enjoyed the book. I thought it was great. The art I thought was really good this issue, and Jorge Corona is just doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I think we heard previously that Daniel Warren Johnson is wrapping up his storylines with issue 24, so that's one more story arc basically, and then hopefully Energon Universe will continue on after that. So I wonder, that's 2 years of stories, so we'll see what happens after that. I'm sure there will be further announcements about that in the future. So. All right, that's our review of Transformers number 17. So let's move on to some media news.
All right, and first up this week, we have some designs, just a design actually. This is for Transformers Eternal War, the mobile game. And I guess this game is the one that's still coming out. So we've got the first trailer of the game is linked here in the show notes. But we have a design for Jazz. So this is a CAD design. Take a look. It looks like Jazz. So take a look at that if you're interested. I don't know if I'm interested in playing this game or not. I probably will download it, give it a once over just to see. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know. We have CAD designs already for Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, and Starscream. So looks like they're making it through the G1 cast pretty quickly here. But yeah, so take a look at that and play the game if you're interested. Remember, don't spend money on mobile games. Just grind it out. Anyway, next up, we have a deleted scene, or at least an image from a deleted scene from Transformers 1. So we have an image from the fight between Alpha Trion and Sentinel Prime. This is when Sentinel kills Alpha Trion, and so it's basically a different angle. So perhaps this is obviously it's an animated movie or CG animated. So a lot of times they don't really animate this stuff because it costs a lot of money. And this one looks like they animated it. So this probably made it pretty far through the editing stage. And I wonder how many other deleted scenes there are, and if and when we would get a director's cut or whatever, if there is ever one, something like that. Generally, animated movies don't get that, so it'd be interesting if we ever did get something like that. Yeah, that's very
cool. I believe in the actual cut of the movie, you don't see him like cutting or stabbing his head, like it's off screen.
You just see him stab down.
Yeah.
We just watched it again recently. It's just a stabbing motion down. It's like you're the camera is Alpha Trion's eyes. So
and this you clearly see his head separated
flying off the body. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe they decided that the killing motion, that's too violent to see the head pop off, and they wanted to they changed it from that to just going down with the stabbing motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ripping Sentinel Prime in half is fine. That's not violent.
He's the bad guy.
No. He's the bad guy. All right. And next up we have a relocation notation for the Transformers restaurant, the Ark. So if you are going to Hong Kong and looking to visit the Transformers restaurant, you need to know that the restaurant will be moving. I guess it only opened back in 2023. We talked about it then, and they're moving. So no reason why.
It says at the bottom here that they're going to be traveling to different locations. So,
it is. It's a traveling restaurant. That seems expensive.
It's going to Shenzhen next, and who knows? I mean, they invite Earthlings to step into the role of Transformers, but I imagine it might. I'm hoping it goes outside of China, really. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's interesting. I've never heard of a traveling restaurant before, but other than ones that are on wheels. So, yeah. And lastly, we've got some stuff from the Sunbow archive, and this is pretty a lot of stuff here. So, basically, Bob Budiansky's G1 Transformer profiles have been scanned and uploaded to the Sunbow archive. And if you've never been to the Sunbow archive, that is a deep dive. You need an afternoon. So, if you'll get stuck just going through there. So this is a lot of stuff. Yeah. So Budiansky, I guess, scanned all of his stuff, and it's all here. It's a lot of stuff. So, yeah, very interesting.
And this is the stuff that he would show on his panels.
Yeah. Now I don't see his yellow legal pad stuff, because that's his profiles writing stuff. But this might be the good copy, or that he wrote out for that. But yeah, very interesting to look at, because this was the original. This was the pre anything for Transformers. This was the first stuff. So very cool. Yeah. So yeah, take a look at that. Give yourself some time, because there is a lot of information there. But
that's a treasure trove.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all the media news. So let's move on to convention news.
All right. We are now under a month until Transformers Los Angeles, which is March 7th through 9th. And we've got a whole lot more guest announcements to go over. First one is Jim Sorensen, author of the ARC, the Allspark Almanac, and the Art of Transformers Packaging. And he's going to be hosting a bunch of panels at the convention. I'm sure if you bring any of those books, he'd be happy to sign them. And then next up, RFS Kenshin, who is the voice of Jazz in Robots in Disguise 2015. He's going to be there. And we have Infante?
Mm-hmm.
The voice of Nightshade in Earthspark. So they're going to be there. And
yeah, we met them at TFCon Baltimore. Cool. I got them to sign my Nightshade instruction booklet.
Nice. Then we have John Bailey, who is the voice of Soundwave in Transformers 1, Shockwave, and Soundwave in Bumblebee and Optimus Prime in the Combiner Wars trilogy. The first Combiner Wars trilogy. Or I guess, no, yeah, I was saying War for Cybertron as well. So the Machinima series.
Yeah.
And
Had
then
him on the show?
Yeah, he's been on the show. And then finally, Frank Welker, a voice you might have heard once or twice in your life. The voice of Megatron in G1 Prime. This is celebrating the 15th anniversary of Transformers Prime. I'm sure if you have G1 Megatron stuff, he will also sign that. But he's going to be there Saturday and Sunday. So he has separate autograph tickets because he is Frank Welker. He deserves that. So
if you're interested, get them.
Yeah, the tickets are they're only on sale for weekend pass holders. So you will need to, if you're going to go for one day, you aren't going to be able to get the tickets. So be sure to check that out. And he is also going to have a Q&A panel as well. So he is on my bucket list of people I need to meet, but I will not be at TFCon LA.
And as always, I'll always remind people, Frank Welker and I share a birthday, March 12th. So this weekend will be his birthday weekend while he's there at TFCon LA. So wish him a happy birthday if you do get to meet him.
Wish Charles a happy birthday as well, but he won't be there.
All right. Well, that is all for convention news, and that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. So at the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So that's why they deserve a shout out in every episode. So thank you once again to John 4X Levengood and Steve C. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. And we really appreciate everyone else out there for watching and listening to this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.